afternoon. My name is Drew Carter, and I have the distinct pleasure of being Cabarrus County Schools Band Director for the last 15 years and for the last 2 years at the Cox Mill High School here in Concord. I wanted to take a moment to let you know how much of a privilege it has been to watch this band in action under the leadership of Dr. Kopczynski, and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing them and him to you. Dr. Kopczynski did his undergraduate studies at Virginia Tech, and then from there went to be a high school band director for 7 years in Virginia, and from there went to pursue graduate studies, studying at Michigan State University, the acclaimed wind band conductor, Dr. Kevin Sedetol. I should mention that when he was at Virginia Tech, he studied with Dr. Travis Cross, who's now the director of bands at UCLA in California. Both of those are foremost figures in our activity in the band world. It's been such a pleasure to watch him work for the last 2 days with this group and to welcome him as a member of our community, because for the past 3 years, he has been at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. The year before that, he was at Mars Hill University. So we now consider him one of our own, where he has spent time making a distinct mark on the program at UNC Charlotte, and even more importantly, in each of our band rooms, training up the next generation of young student musicians. And so we're so privileged to welcome to you to the stage at this time to conduct the 11-12 Symphonic Band here at Cabarrus County All-County Band. Dr. Kopczynski, please make him welcome at this time.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure it has been to be here these last 2 days working with these incredible students. I've had a ton of fun working with them. I hope they have had a lot of fun working with me as well. It's always a pleasure to make music. It is a pleasure to be right here in my own backyard. And so many of these students I've met and worked with in various capacities, so it's cool. It's like a little, almost homecoming to work with them in this capacity. So thank you to the students for your work. Thank you for all of you for being here and supporting them tonight. That first piece we played, we're going to perform 4 works for you tonight. That first piece was Julie Drew's Journey Through Orion. And so she was inspired basically by the pictures we see often of stars, of space, of the sky. And just the detail and the almost artistry in that science, in these photographs. And the idea of that piece is to kind of take us through the Orion Nebula. And we're soaring through the sky, looking amongst the stars. And that's the image that she's trying to evoke throughout that piece. This next piece we're going to perform for you is a beautiful piece of tribute and remembrance called Remember by a composer named Melanie Donahue. It takes a really simple, original, Irish-styled folk song. It's not a song it's not a famous melody or anything. It's an original tune that she came up with, but it's kind of in that style. It's just a really beautiful, poignant, touching piece. So I hope you enjoy our next selection, Melanie Donahue's Remember. This next selection is David Biedenbinder's Ghost Apparatus, and in it you will hear some peculiar sounds, which are intended to be peculiar, but every time we play this piece, it's a little bit different, and that's because a big component of this piece is what we call aleatoric music, or chance music. And so the students have, right in the middle of the piece, these boxes, and several of them have different basic codes that they play off of, and they play this material in this box, and they kind of improvise, and they play stuff, essentially, no better way to describe it than stuff, throughout the middle of this piece. And it kind of fades in and fades out and grows and evolves and dissolves, and then the melody kind of sneaks its way through that piece, or through that section. And so the piece itself, with that kind of unusual sound, deserves a little bit of an explanation. So I'll read Dr. Biedenbinder's program note here for this. So a ghost apparatus is apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently ghost apparatus is a hidden network or force. And he's thinking of this in the context of video games, which I don't play a lot of video games, so I had to do a little digging in and figure out what this meant. So basically, here we go. So imagine that this piece is a soundtrack for a video game that exists only in your head. And so as you listen to this, kind of imagine yourself playing a video game. The narrative of that game is up to you. So from the beginning, just like in a video game, every note, every decision has a consequence, a cause and effect that sets in motion a chain of other events that cannot be undone. So every note, every gesture is part of a larger puzzle. And this is both the video game and how kind of video games work, but also how this music works. Okay, so there are single points of sounds that come together to form something bigger. It's not always apparent from the beginning, but there's also a force working against the music or against the game. And it comes in the form of a melody that emerges slowly. And it emerges slowly, but you'll quickly hear it. And it's just a quick dramatic swell, and it gradually builds and builds and builds and builds and becomes chaotic. And then, like I said, it dissolves in that kind of cacophony that you'll hear in the middle of the piece. And so you'll hear a lot of interesting colors and interesting sounds in this piece, but it's a lot of fun. I think students have really enjoyed working on it. I've definitely enjoyed learning it and working on it with them. And so I hope you enjoy Ghost Apparatus by David Biedenbinder. thank you again, but also, mostly thank you for these incredible students. Give them another round of applause. Just fantastic human beings, really great people, great musicians, but like I said, most importantly, they're just good people, and it's fun to work with them. They are willing to do stuff like that, and crazy music, but exploring different types of writing, different types of notation is fun, and they're so well trained. It makes it extra fun for me to come in and work with them. And that's because of the wonderful instruction and education they get here in Cabarrus County, in Kannapolis. And so another round of applause, and a huge thank you for me personally too. Yes. A huge thank you to the band directors. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for allowing me to work with your students, and for the wonderful instruction. Y'all are so lucky. We have such wonderful music education here, and I'm fortunate to be just down the road, and I love coming and watching, and coming to the band rooms, but also watching the great work that's happening with these students, with these directors. It's really special, and you're really fortunate. So I just want to say thank you again to the directors of this area for the work they do. And thank you for you all. Thank you for the support that you give these students. They could not do what they do without you. And it means so much to me, it means so much to their directors, and I hope most importantly it means a lot to your students. Because they have the opportunity to, like Mr. Johnson was saying, to change lives and to impact lives. And what we get to do, we're so fortunate. And we were talking earlier in rehearsal, we never take that for granted. It's the chance to share what we do, the chance to share what we love, and the chance to impact other people through music and through art is so important and so valuable. And so I thank you for allowing me a couple days to work with them. It's been a lot of fun. And so thank you all. And also thank you to the logistics that have to happen for this event. So Mr. Ed Harper for reaching out and kind of working with us. Mr. Carter for being kind of the right-hand man for this ensemble. Ms. McNeil and Ms. Freeman for their incredible work in hosting this beautiful venue. And then again, all the directors for their kind of behind-the-scenes work that makes an event like this possible. So thank you to you all for making this happen. So thank you again. Thank you, students, for your talents, your efforts, your work. And we're going to close tonight with a great piece by Michael Borkowski called Shine.